How's it going? Getting ready to go live in my group here. Let's see if we can get this better angle here. So you can see it from a different perspective, right? Kind of side on. Let's see. Let me get this turned on first for the men. Oh, there we go. All right. We are going live. Whoa. Sorry. If you're watching live, sorry about that. Dropping like that on top. All right, gentlemen. How we doing? Good stuff. Here we go. Whoa. All right. Let's see if we can do this. All right. I'm getting better at this every day. But that's what we're doing tonight. And I didn't get set up right now. Sorry, guys. I'm trying to actually do two things at once. That's the issue. I'm not so talented to do this. Tonight, epic men of honor and wisdom and strength. Welcome, gentlemen. So glad you could join me today. Let's see. All right. Let's go like this. And let's get the video on. Sorry, guys. Here we are. Welcome, welcome. Good evening. And welcome. All right. Why can't my camera work? There it is. Now it's working finally. All right. Cool. So, let me see if I can get this going right for you guys. We got this new mechanism I'm trying out. So that it takes setup a little bit. Bear with me, guys. We're almost ready. Okay. All right. Is that better? There we go. Huh. I think that's better. Yeah, that's better. It's way better. Thanks. All right. Here we go, gentlemen. Okay. So, doing my event tonight with the men, and y'all get to hang out with us. All right, tonight, gentlemen, on my Zoom here on my laptop live. Okay, here we go. Sorry, guys. Little setup time, and welcome those of you joining me live here on Zoom for our men's call weekly every Monday. So glad you could join us today. Lester, Lamar, Nathan, Ken, and those of you other men that are joining us or watching the recordings. Thanks for being here. So how's your week going, guys? Give me some feedback on what's been happening this week in your life and how is it going for you? Yeah, tell me more about your week. What's happening, guys? So, anybody want to jump on and say how the week's going or how last week went? I wanted to actually just throw out there an absolute, way to go, high five to Mr. Nathan Kinsinger. That guy is just going after it. Last Monday, we all connected and we talked about, just to review what the week was about, we talked about, planning, finishing strong for the month, right? Because we were ending October, entering into November. It was the last week, finishing strong. And it's like, all right, let's go. Let's finish strong. And it was awesome just to see Mr. Nathan Kinsinger and to watch him go for it. The guy is a beast, man. I mean, seriously, totally in beast mode, totally going after it. And to see him get the results that he did. So, all right, just to review, I want to kind of tell you and a little bit look at what we talked about last week. We had looked at Let me pull it up now. All right. So last week it was how to dominate your week and crush your monthly goals. And went through the top 10 things you can do to not only crush your week at work, to get results, but then also to finish strong for your month. And I'm telling you, it was awesome. It was awesome just to see Mr. Kinsinger go to work. He and I had met last Monday to talk about this and to create a plan and a system, and also to create his week, his calendar. And I will tell you, it was truly awesome just to watch him go to work and watch him do his thing. You know what I mean? And I'm very proud of him. Nathan, well done, bro. Because he took those things we talked about, he put them into action. And, you know, we talked about last week how that what can happen is what was our ceiling can become our floor. So if we have targets and goals that we want to accomplish for the week, and we say, okay, what we want this to become is our floor, which becomes our new standard. So maybe in your business or in your particular industry, or maybe your job, or maybe it's performance based, or maybe it's, I know some of you build saddles, right? And maybe it's, if I could do one saddle a day, or maybe it's one saddle a week, or maybe it's in this case, it was the amount of jobs that Nathan was going to do, because we knew an average of jobs when we started the year in 2025. He has a foaming business, and we set it based on revenue for sure, but we also set it based on jobs because we knew the average job. We said, okay, what if we did 5 jobs a week, and what would that create? And then we also set the standard to increase his business by about 25%, 30%. That's great growth, by the way. And so we set the target, and man, first month, the first 3 week, we called 12-week year, out the door, he hit the target and he did awesome. And then we had another 12-week year, right? And then we finished the third quarter, and just seeing his results was just like, okay, look, you are really nailing it. You're getting things done. What if we up the ante? What would it look like if you could double what you normally do? What standard we set for the beginning of the year? You've hit it. What if we doubled that? What would that look like? What would it take to get that done? And we set the scope of work, and we said, all right, you did it last week. Can you do it this week? And you know what that crazy guy did? He not only did the standard, right? Double what he had done before. And again, Nathan, if you'll give me a thumbs up, I'll talk about numbers. I mean, everybody's numbers are going to be different, but I just want to honor you, buddy. But if you're okay with me talking about numbers, I will, because this is really exciting. Are you good with that?
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay. All right. So, because it sometimes makes more sense. Like, we had set a target at the beginning of the year for $5,000 a week for his business revenue. And it was, I guess I should record this too. Probably a good idea.
Recording in progress.
Okay, man. Welcome back. For those of you watching the recording, I apologize. I forgot to start the recording, but here we go. Epic men of honor, strength, and wisdom. Love that. But I wanted to share with you some results of some of the things we worked on last week. If you remember, Nathan Kinsinger and I had, he has a roofing and foaming business, and his main thing is foaming, and he does the closed cell foam. And so at the beginning of the year, he and I started working on things, setting targets, I should say at the end of the year for 2025, and super grateful and honored that he would be willing to work with us. And that's been our focus, is on his business, growing his business. Well, we set the target for him to improve his business by 25, 30%, and to do an average of $5,000 a week. And man, he nailed it. The first 12 weeks out the gate, he did that. He hit it, was on target. Second 12 weeks, did it again. And then coming into our final 12 weeks, right? So we're coming into our fourth quarter, as he and I talked about. And we said, what if we could double it? And this guy, crazy guy, doubled it and did it. So he hit 10,000 in a week. I said, when we met last Monday, I said, what if that became your floor? What if that became your new standard? Because now we had set the beginning of the year 5,000 a week. He had done that over and over and over, many times over, really, and actually more. And so I'm like, what would it look like to do 10? He did 10. And then Monday of last week, I said, well, we're going to finish this month strong, and we're going to finish the quarter, right? Or excuse me, this month, and continue on into this fourth quarter strong. What would it look like? We did that Zoom call with men last week. We talked about what Nathan and I had talked about that morning, but then we went in more detail and went through the list of top 10 things to do to really finish strong, but also to plan for the week. Because Monday's Monday, man. This is a great time to plan. If you're not planning for the week or haven't planned already, you're a little bit late to the game. Just wanted to let you know that. But you can go watch that video and check it out, again, to help you plan and get results. But I will tell you, Nathan Kinsinger not only hit that floor, he nailed it. He did 16,000 last week in business. And he was hustling, man. We sat down and did the calendar, and he mapped it out. And the guy just absolutely 3x, 3 times what we had set for a target at the beginning of the year. 3 times and an extra 1,000, right? 16,000. I don't know about you, but that's pretty impressive. And I'm just blessed to be working with Nathan and blessed to see results like that. And I love sharing. So men, as you have these kind of results and as we're working together, please tell me what's happening. Talk about the sprouts, talk about the wins, the victories as we come on. That's how I love starting these calls. I want to try something new to talk about victories. Maybe it's in your relationship with your wife. Maybe it's in your business. Maybe it's in your work, your job that you're doing. It might be hourly, but maybe you did something extraordinary at work this last week that really just the boss noticed, gave you either a bonus or an attaboy. Or maybe it's something in your personal life. Maybe you jogged, did an Ironman, or did some kind of race over the weekend and a huge accomplishment. We want to hear about it. We want to celebrate with you. But today, just because, again, seeing that as Nathan and I met this morning, did the numbers from last week, I was like, Nathan, what in the world? So his new floor is 10,000 a week, doubling what we had originally planned for the year. So proud of him. And so he's done that week after week now. And even now he hit 16,000, all-time high for his business and revenue. So, Mr. Nathan, congratulations, buddy. Tell us the secret, though. Go, go, go!
Anyway, my work just continues. So you see those foam barrels?
I see them, buddy. Did they show up?
Yeah.
All right. Good job.
I got to load them up and take them to the shop and load the trailer up yet before I head on home.
All right. You know, that's commitment. And guess what? This is super crazy awesome. He's still going for that standard of 10,000 a week. But guess what? His week is a little bit more crunched this time. He only has 3 days to do it in because he's coming to see us. He's attending one of our Epic Intensive events. And I'm excited. I'm excited to see Lamar this week. I'm excited to see you, Lester. I'm excited to see Ken is going to be coming out towards the end of the week. We're going to have a legacy event, some of our leadership. So, man, we're going to have a blast. But, guys, thanks for being willing to come out and do this Epic Intensive. And, again, these are results, but results in relationship are powerful as well. Lamar, you're married. When we first started working together, I was like, I don't know. Now you're married. That's what we're excited for Nathan for 2026, right, Nathan? He's getting incredible business results. Now we're going to help him get married, right, Nathan? The new target for 2026, y'all.
I'm not sure about that. Work's more important for me right now.
Yeah, he's nailing it. Getting her done, bro. You're setting an amazing standard. So congratulations and keep up the good work.
Thank you. Yeah, I'm going to load up my stuff.
All right, man. Okay. Well, let's shift gears, guys. Why we're here tonight, our topic for tonight that I sent over to you guys, and I'm excited to talk about, but I would love some interaction. You know, it's OPOC. OPOC. Other people's opinions control. Men, it is time. It's time for us to take control of our own lives and stop letting others dictate our path. Tonight, I'm excited to gather and tackle the OPOC mindset. Other people's opinions control. We got to break free from this and seriously, the chains of external validation and tap into our inner strength. It's time. So what does that look like? And what does that feel like? And let's even set the stage a little bit. Have you experienced OPOC? Have you experienced being controlled by what other people think? And you know, why? What's happening that creates that? Does it have even some opinions about how you live your life or opinions on what you should do with your life? Fun fact, growing up, I was told, and again, it's all good. It's really awesome. I'm blessed and honored that my family would look at me this way and consider it is I was going to be the next Billy Graham. It's not too late. Again, I'm honored and blessed by that idea. And I am very passionate about seeing lives changed and transformed and seeing lives come to know, as I call him, Yeshua, Jesus Christ, as their Savior, their Messiah, and to have access to the Father through the blood of Jesus Christ, the Lamb, the sacrificial Lamb of God. I believe that with all my heart. And the thing is, though, it's like, but it doesn't look the same as what they thought, right? We're working on marriage. We're working on relationships that I believe will affect legacies. 1,000-year plan, right? Because again, if we can solidify it, it's interesting because the people we work with, a lot of times they have habits, and we're creating new stories, we're creating new habits with them, and helping them to see what they cannot see, and helping them to create a story that they want to live, the life they want to live that will not only affect their lives, but the lives for generations to come. As we're planning for this event this week, Chantel and I collaborated. On Sunday, we sat down and spent time. Of course, we went to church, but then we also made time to look at what is God wanting to do in our event this week. We have an epic intensive, starts on Thursday night, ends almost a week later on Tuesday or Wednesday. It's our final event for the year, and it's full immersion. People come out. We include lodging. We include meals, and we're all in focus working on things together as a family. And it's super awesome and super fun to get the opportunity to connect with people at such a deep level and create an atmosphere, home together, in a family together. And how does family interact with each other in a healthy way? What does that look like to do that? And so we are super pumped. And as we got the theme, there was 2 verses that popped up. And one was Chantel's Romans. Here we go. Man, Luke. Where did I get Romans? Is that right? No, I thought it was Romans. Do I have the wrong one? Interesting. I do have the wrong one. Let me pull it up. See, this is what happens. It's what happens when you have more than one journal you're working out of. All right, that's fine. Here we go. So you have 3 of them. One that's pretty much all the way used up and dirty. I have 1 page in it. I literally grabbed it to right outside of. That's funny. And then I have my most recent one. And then this one's almost done. This is mainly my one I journal with for my letters back and forth to Papa. And so, but for some reason I had done it in this one. This is more of my business one, working with clients on there. And I did. I wrote the letter to Papa out of this one on Sunday. How funny. So it was Romans 8:37 was the word that Chantel got, which had to do with being more than conquerors. Go look it up. That's what we're called to be, more than conquerors, but utilizing what weapon? Love. I love it. It's so cool. Right. And then the verse that I got for this week's event, the end of the year event, was John 1:5, which has to do with light shining in the darkness, not being limited by darkness, but shining and thriving through the darkness. It's super awesome to combine these two and be shining conquerors. That's what's possible. And why I'm bringing this up is because I think it's necessary, very necessary, if we are going to have results in spite of OPOC. I too can be controlled by OPOC. I promise you. I'm not just saying this is real. Other people's opinions control me as well. If I don't have a plan, if I don't have a design, and if I'm just flying by the seat of my pants and asking everyone, no, but if I have a plan and I have a design and I have it mapped out and I'm going for it, I can shine through the darkness and we can conquer anything. And to shine is to speak up, speak your truth. And I often see people have, they're controlled by other people's opinions. And maybe it's the news. Maybe it's like, and the craziest part is like there's so much media out there, so much news. And by the way, not all of it is real. Not all of it is true. Case in point, during the pandemic, and there was like some, what was it? There was the riots going on in the Twin Cities. And I had a really good friend that lived in the Twin Cities. And I'm watching these riots, and they're like saying the whole city's burning down, and there's chaos in the streets. And I'm like, calling my friend, are you okay? Oh my gosh, how's your family? How are you? Are you okay? The city's burning down. She's like, what? I'm like, yeah, I was watching the news. She goes outside, and she holds the phone up. She's like, there's no sirens, no nothing. She's like, yeah, there was some isolated stuff that happened. And I'm like, really? It wasn't like the whole city? Wasn't the whole city burning down? She's like, no, not at all. She's like, I'd heard about it and saw it. It was a brief thing, a day or two. I'm like, oh my gosh. And she literally drove through the city. She's like, I don't know what you're talking about, Carlos. And I'm like, okay. You never know what to believe anymore. It's sad that we can't trust the media. We can't, and that's really what happens, right? The news, the media, it's other people's opinions, and we can't trust it. And now you add AI to it and make it even more dramatic and add more stuff to it and make it look documentary style to have some proof and evidence about this person or that person. The world's coming to an end, right? I was meeting with a client today, and I said, it's interesting to me because it reminds me of when other people's opinions or the news or media affects you, controls you that much. It reminded me of an old story, a child's storybook that this child, or no, I think it was an animal or something, the character, I have to get the book. And the book is called The Sky is Falling. Okay. And what happened was this, I think it was even let's call it the dog. I'm going to totally make this up because I don't remember what character it was, but the book's called The Sky is Falling, the child's book. And this dog is walking through the forest, and all of a sudden an acorn falls and hits him in the head, and he's never experienced that before, right? Or a pine cone falls and hits him in the head. Looks up and he's like, the sky is falling. I just got hit by the sky. The sky is falling. The sky is falling! And he literally runs around to all the animals. We gotta get cover. The sky is falling. The sky is falling. And makes this big deal about the sky is falling and the sky is falling. People are panicking everywhere. Take cover because he's sounding the alarm. The sky is falling. And finally someone's talking, what are you talking about? What's going on? Trying to get clarity instead of OPO. See. Well, it's just I was walking through the forest and this thing hit me and something hit me in the head. It had to be the sky. I was like, that's a pine cone. Are you talking about one of these things? Well, I don't know. I felt it hit me and I just knew it was the sky was falling. So, clarity, it's a pine cone. There's lots of them up there in those trees. Well, I didn't see where it came from. I just knew it happened and it must be the sky is falling. Do you guys get it? I know this is a silly story, but it's like, it's an elementary child's book. And yet, as adults, we are literally getting so worked up about the media, the news. And I'm not saying it's all fake. I'm not saying that. But partly is, why are we getting worked up about it and offended about it if we're not going to do anything about it? I'm all for being passionate, but go do something about it then. I really feel with my whole heart, hear me, that I'm truly doing something about it. Why? Because I'm working with you men to help you to see how to be a good father, how to be a good husband, how to have an epic marriage, because I do believe that if we can fix, or not fix, if we can improve, let's say improve, if we can improve the homes, if we can make the marriages epic, it will improve the environments of the home in which the children are raised with confidence, communication skills, and committed to their family and their relationships, and legacy will be developed out of epic marriages, and we will see a world where families stay together, couples stay married, they master that art of marriage and the art of pursuing each other on such an awesome level, and they understand what it means to become one flesh. They raise children that do the same. We break the curse of divorce. We break the curse of division. That's what God says in words. He hates division. He loves unity. He loves synchronicity. He loves seeing couples become one flesh and come in sync with each other. Super powerful. That's what I'm doing for our nation. So badly I want our message to get out to the world. We have a strategy. We have a little system that works. It's not on trial. Why is it not on trial? Because we've seen it change hundreds and hundreds, and even probably by now thousands of lives, and watched a simple 30-minute strategy create connection and communication, create confidence. But you got to be committed to it. That's the hard part too. But if you can make it a habit, just like eating, what in America they say, eat 3 meals a day, right? I get it. Yes. Breakfast, lunch, and dinner. That's what we programmed to eat. I'm not saying it's good or bad. You do your research. I'm just saying that's the programming. What if we made it like a meal? The connection time. Understanding how to connect with each other. And spending the time it takes to drink 2 cups of coffee to connect with each other and design our lives. Why am I saying all this? Because again, I want to impact you and influence you to connect with your family, and first with God, your Father, and which helps create your best identity to know God, Abba, Papa, as a father, allows you then to connect with others in a beneficial way, and then to the extent of becoming one flesh. I believe all men are worthy of being married. It's so good, man. If you knew how good it really was, you would absolutely do whatever it took, like Jesse Kaufman, to do it. He was desperate. He did it, and guess what? He got married in like 12 weeks. He didn't even get engaged in less than 12 weeks. He got married in less than 12 weeks because he was willing to do whatever it took. And guess what? Now he's teaching others to do the same. It's powerful. He's so committed and dedicated to it, and he's dedicated his life to it. He and Adina are transforming lives and watching singles get married through their community. And that's super awesome. But again, there's always going to be OPOC, things that try to control us, other people's opinions that try to control us. We want to design our life. We want to live our life, but everyone wants what they want for us too, especially older people or people we look up to who love us and want what's best for us. And they're telling you, well, you should do this and you should do this and this. Again, if you want their results and what they have in their lives, and they're giving you advice based on what they've done, great, good, go do it and get their results, right? However, if you don't want their fruit and don't want their results, then back to the media thing, if you truly are distraught, first of all, if you're going to watch it, have purpose for watching it, not just to make yourself angry and get ulcers and stressed out about the world's coming to an end, but actually for a purpose of learning and gaining wisdom and understanding of what's going on. And then do some truth searching, make sure it's true. And then also look at all sides. Be open to look at all sides of it. When I see something negative, I always look at what's the other side of it saying. And I know in this day and age, it's interesting. It's about the Republicans and the Democrats. It's like, if the Republicans are saying this, this, and this, I go and listen to what the Democrats are saying to get both sides of it and make my own decision. Kind of like when I study the word, they're like, what translation do you use, Carlos? No, I go back to the definition. I try to go to the source that's not controlled by that. And I do the same in politics and media and disasters. And, same thing with everyone was saying, California is a mess. And I went there. I used to live there. So I went back during COVID. I'm like, looking around, I'm like, it's not as bad as everybody's making it out to be. Like, the news makes you feel like California is going to fall off into the ocean because there's so much chaos and problems in California. I'm like, there's still people here, still good people, still loving people. Like, I lived there for many years. Like, there's a lot of good people in California. Yeah, it's a little crazy at times. I'll admit that. That's just because there's so many people and so many people from different cultures and different walks of life there. It's the melting pot of the world, like literally the best food on the planet because it has so many authentic foods there. If you're a foodie, California's a good place for that. But again, my point being is, like, I saw the news and I thought for sure that California had gone mad, the whole state. And yet I went there because mom and dad were still living there. And we went there. Mom had surgery during the COVID time. And like, it's not as crazy as everyone's saying. They're not rioting in the streets. Or I'm like, I don't even know what they're talking about on the media. What's going on? This is so weird. All the restrictions, you go to jail if you don't have a mask on. They're hunting people down and putting them in. It's like, what? Again, you see both sides. And both. The bottom line is what do you believe and why? Do you believe because the news said so? I hear things about Israel. I hear things about, different things. And look, I love and support Israel for 100%, for sure. Are there people there that probably I wouldn't agree with? Sure. I love America. I'm very patriotic. There's people here and leadership here that I don't agree with. I'm just saying, like, so the point is, though, is I do my best to see the good in everyone and every situation. Try to look through the lens of clarity, ask better questions to get to the heart of what's going on, try to put myself in their shoes, empathy, right? And try to see why they're doing what they do, leadership, understanding. You got to be a leader for a while to understand that, making decisions that are hard. And then I try to go to a better source than media. Like, I have friends that live in Israel. And it's like, what's really going on there? What's really happening? What's going on? Because again, it's hard to know what's embellished, what's the truth, what's blown out of proportion, or what's minimized, right? There's all these things. So this is an important thing. First of all, design what's going into your mind. It's really important. Design what's going into your mind. Second of all, if you allow things to go in your mind that gets you fired up and passionate, then do something about it. Don't sit there and be upset and angry and like yelling at the TV or yelling at the leadership if you're not willing to go become the mayor of your town, at least, the governor of your state, at least, the like part of the, you know, the House of Representatives, or, you know, whatever. Go represent in some way leadership. If you're not willing to do that, then you have no reason to talk. You have no reason to blow up and give your opinions. Like, please go do something useful with that anger and that energy. Use it for good. I see a lot of people raging about these things. I understand you're frustrated, but what are you doing about it? Are you running for any kind of government position in your city, county, or state, or nation? Do you want to be the president? Are you willing to be courageous enough and confident enough to go run for presidency if you want to do something about our country and make it better? Or support a candidate and go be working on their campaign with them? You know what I mean? Like, we shall know them by their fruit. Are we looking for the fruit, or are we looking for everything that's wrong? What you seek, you will find. So I do my best to try to find the truth in the midst of all the chaos. What's right, what's wrong, and then look at both sides and look for the truth, though, and look through a lens of clarity, communication, going beyond the fluff of, oh, they're, you know, doing it this way or that way. Again, OPOC. This affects us big time. Other people's opinions. We get it from media. We get it from communicating with family and friends. We get it from newspapers. We get it from social media. We get it from news, right? Whether it's Fox, CNN, CBS. I remember all of them. Like, again, there's these majors, New York Times, right? Newspapers. What do you believe and why? Why do you believe that? Because mom and dad said so? Have you looked for yourself? Because the Bible says so? Are you sure it was the Bible that said it, or was it your pastor, your bishop, your elder, your leader that said it, and you believe, oh, I trust them. They know what they're talking about. Okay, I'm not disagreeing with you. However, you have a brain. Create your own opinion. Create your own understanding. Dig deep. Get clarity for yourself. And know that's where blessings lie, is for you to dig deep into it and find the truth, find an understanding that only you can get by, again, and the purpose of why you're getting the truth, or why you're looking into this stuff and digging deep into it, is because you want to do something about it. Not because you want to prove your friend wrong, or you want to prove somebody right or wrong. Do you see what I mean? Where the energy comes from that? Like, we got plenty of anger and rage out there right now. We need some love. We need some unity. We need connection. We need affection. We need honoring and lifting up communication. And believe me, I'm not anyone to sit here and talk. I can be just as negative as the next guy. I can. And get caught up in, like, what's wrong, and complaining. I've worked hard to be more about speaking life. I've worked hard to be more about edifying and congratulating the victories. But I also know that fear is a powerful tool. It is. That's why I believe the best, most successful people, they grab a hold of the fear of loss and fear of even disappointment and design it into their life, and then the reward and the blessing, right? And push and pull between the two of those. Do you get what I'm saying? You're worthy of having an awesome life. You're worthy of having results in your life. And this week, we're going to bring it. This week, we're preparing for an epic intensive, for a week of transformation, a week of full immersion. I assure you, because some of you men I know are coming to this event, your life will never be the same after you leave here. We're going to pour into you. And it's like, you got a cup of tea. You're not just dipping your toe in, like we do mentorships. We do, things like that with our clients. And that is kind of a dipping of the tea bag. Man, when you're with us for almost a week, and you're spending full days with us, you're full immersion. That bag is steeping and we're heating it up for your good, for your freedom, for your blessing. And while you're here, we know it's shining conquers. How can we pull the best out of you? For you to have an epic identity connected to the most incredible Papa on the most incredible Papa, right? Really is. One and only God. The God of Jacob, Isaac. The God of Israel. But I love and appreciate him as Papa, as Abba. It is special to me to know him that way. Which then allows me to become a better father, a better husband, a better man of God, a better friend. And you know what he said, actually? He said, for my yoke is easy and my burden is light. Take my yoke upon you. That was Yeshua speaking, Jesus. And what he said is, when you see me doing it, it's because I do what the Father does, and the Father really is the one I want you to yoke with, but I'm here on earth with you. He was talking, he's like, so yoke with me, but really I'm trying to be an example, because when the Father sees you, he actually sees me now. He doesn't see your mistakes. He doesn't see your sin. He doesn't see your shortcomings, your falls, your failures. He sees me, the sacrifice, the royal priesthood, just like Moses was the high priest. Such is Jesus. But not for us to worship Jesus, but to give us access to the one, the Father. You're like, but aren't they the same? We got God the Father, God the Son, God the Holy Spirit. Yes, true. But again, how we see him, we need a Messiah. Yes, to have victory and to have freedom. But then we want to graduate to a Father, a Papa, to have that intimate connection, that love, and feel the love of the Father. And to know that, yeah, there's fear of, what if I don't? Yeah, his laws kick in. He created laws. He created gravity. Can't jump out of a building and go, the angels will save me. No, that's not how he works. That actually defies the law of gravity. Yeah, we can create machines and things that will defy the law of gravity. But to just jump out of a 50-story building and say, God save me, splat. He's not going to do it. He created that law of gravity, and you did something foolish. You tempted God, and he's not going to answer that prayer. And we do that a lot. He set up laws and principles, reaping and sowing. You're out there sowing chaos and anger and frustration. You're wondering, God, why is everybody so chaos? And why is there so much destruction around me and death? And it's like, you sowed all that. So also your opinion matters. What are you spreading? Are you spreading the fruit, joy, love, peace? Let's go through the list. Or are you spreading death and destruction and chaos? Are the results of the things that you're talking about and bringing forth, bringing life or death? Choose and walk it out. And know that sometimes it's okay not to plug into that negative stuff that's just bogging you down, causing you to be angry and frustrated, giving you ulcers, giving you stress and anxiety, you're breathing weird and stuff, It's why? I'm not saying to put your head in the sand. But again, what's the purpose? Purpose. If you can ask that question to yourself, when other people's opinions are controlling you or coming around you, what's the purpose? What's the purpose of you plugging into that? Why? Why am I doing this? I'm doing it because I'm going to do something about it. I'm learning how I can be the best possible man of God, epic man of God, the best possible, I should say man of Papa, Papa God, because I see him that way. The best man that comes from Papa God. And it's created epic results so that I can be then the best husband, one flesh with my bride, connecting at such a deep level. It's possible. I promise. Yoking with Papa God, yoking with my wife, being equally yoked and working hard together, getting into sync. That's really what unequally yoked is talking about. Out of sync with each other. Papa's called us to be in sync. And not the music group, but in sync with our spouse. The yoke is a great equalizer. That's why it's so precious that Papa God wants to yoke up with us. It's even precious too that he tells us to be to our wives the way he gave his life, and he is to the bride, the church. That's how we're supposed to be to our brides, our wives, here on earth, and become one flesh and sync with them, just like he wants to have with us, whether we're male or female, right? In sync with us, it's the bride. And that beautiful one sync, one flesh family will create an environment, couple will create an environment in their home where children will thrive. People they influence and lead by example will thrive and have incredible results. Now we create legacies. Legacies of people that know him as Papa. Legacies of people that will reign and rule with him and rule with love. Shining conquerors will shine the love of God, the love of Papa, of a father, of Abba, and will conquer. Not afraid to fight. Fight the good fight. You know what I'm saying? I'm pretty fired up tonight. And, I think we can bring it to a close early tonight. I know some of you guys are plugging in and watching, but not necessarily interacting. So does anybody have any questions before we bring it to a close tonight? I think I've said enough, and I keep repeating myself now, so it happens. I try to just get a point across, and I keep saying the same thing over and over and over. So again, our verse for this week, Romans 8:37 and John 1:5. Go check them out. Romans 8:37, John 1:5. I'll post a little video that kind of gives a visual of this, shining the light in the darkness to be shining conquerors, with battling with love, using that as our weapon, love, and not letting darkness hold us back. Being bright with light. Confidence is light, you guys. What can we do to be more confident? What can we do to let our voice be heard? You're worthy of being heard. You're worthy. Only God is worthy. I know. And you're his son. You're his daughter. He loves you. He's your papa. So know it and live it and act like it. It's time to shine. Psalms 91 says he's going to lift you up. Why? He says it declares the Lord, he will lift you up because you're connected to him. You're shining bright like he shines. He is light. He is love. So when you're shining bright, light, and love, oh, woo! You're shining bright. Papa. Hope this is helpful. Any comments or questions before we head out? I guess those of you on social media, if you got any questions or comments, I don't have the comments up. Awesome. Thank you all for joining me tonight, you men. Epic men of wisdom, strength, and honor. Honor, strength, and wisdom. Strength, wisdom, honor. I don't know which order you want to be it in, but those are three amazing attributes that we try to accomplish here in our leadership. Epic men of leadership. It's time to rise up. We got to grab a hold of it and go after it. Fight the good fight. Battle. The battle's in your mind. It's time to rise up. You got what it takes. I promise you do. All right. Am I talking to myself here? Does anybody else got any questions or comments, thoughts? You can put them in the chat if you don't want to say them on audio or video. But I'd love to hear from you, man. Some of you jumped on and joined us. Now we got a few more men here. Thanks for being here tonight. Any comments, any thoughts, any questions? All right. Thanks, guys. Thanks for being here. Those of you tuning in, so I have up here, I have my little live camera, not showing anybody on Zoom, but showing me talking, and we're trying to do more of that so people can see us in action, working with our community and working with people we love and help and mentor and support. But I would love if any of you on social media would like one of our workbooks. We'll be glad to bless you with it. We'll send it over to you. We've got journals too. As you can see, Epic Your Life journals for place to write. It's a tool to connect with God, grow in self-awareness, build meaningful connections with others, create clarity, cultivate joy, turn your everyday into something extraordinary. Start your epic journey today. And inside it says, I create what I want. And thoughts, ideas, dreams, gratitude, victories, notes. It's a great place for it. But also we've got a workbook that explains how to do our Epic 30. We've got a video that kind of walks you through it. Because 30 minutes a day, drink a couple of cups of coffee. I promise you, you can have incredible relationship and connection with your spouse or your children or your family, your mom, your dad, your brother, your sister. So just ask and I'll be glad to send it to you. No cost to you. It's in a PDF form. We'll be glad to get you that e-workbook. And we're here to change lives, transform lives. You can also get it at epicyourlife.com. You can go there. You don't have to ask me for it. You can go there and download it. epicyourlife.com. Yeah, men. God bless you. We'll see you. Oh, that's right. Next week, actually, we're going to be in the middle of our Epic Intensive. So I'll send out an announcement that we will not be having our men's group next week because we'll be all, a lot of us, a good portion of us men will be here. So we will see you the following week. We will go ahead with that one. So dates, I'll send out an announcement to you. So God bless you. Thanks for being here tonight. I love your encouragement. So seriously, if you have any thoughts or comments or anything, please send them over, even if it's a private message. It really does make a difference to hear the things we're creating, things we're talking about to be beneficial for you. God bless you. See you later. All right. And social media peeps and family, it's a wrap. Yeah, 5 minutes early. Now it's time to eat. Hungry. I smelled Chantel was making some amazing chicken. I smelt it out there. And yeah, this is our kind of studio / place for doing Zooms, lighting up in here. I'll show you around a little bit. Whiteboard, processing, lighting, calendar. Let's see. Oh, yeah, there it is. Calendar. Nice. It's what we do. And if any of this was beneficial for you, leave me a comment. I love seeing that. Hey, Aaron, what's up? Hey, Jonathan. Good to see you, or at least see you commenting on here. Thanks for the comments. And yeah, again, if any of this strikes home or beneficial, please let me know. If you got topics you want to talk about, relationship stuff you want us to tackle, things you're facing that are holding you back in life and keeping you from preventing you from having an extraordinary life, please let us know. We'll be glad to address some of these things and tell you what's worked for us and tell you what we do to overcome fear, overcome challenges, and to keep moving forward. God bless you. Have a great night. We'll see you next time.